warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kepada para netizen, hari ini agak berbeda nih kita podcastnya. Kita mau ketemu sama, ini ada dua anak muda Indonesia yang sudah mendunia, dan mereka fokus di electronic dance music. Mereka adalah BEAUZ. Saya juga terima kasih sekali. I really thank that you spend the time to appear on my events, and we actually want to know more about the creative side of the business, because this would qualify as creative economy, and how the young people actually could get into the trade and make positive contributions to the economy and create jobs and so on and so forth. But before I start, maybe you could introduce BEAUZ first, and how did get really started, and who had the first idea, and how the two brothers because normally brothers they're pretty different. I have one brother too. I don't right away could work together as a team. It takes some time. So how did it all start? Who wants to go first?
First of all, thank you so much for having us, Sandy. We had such a pleasure playing at your Yes campaigns, and it was truly an inspiring experience looking at you empowering all those young people.
So you guys did Bandung, Makassar, and
Jakarta.
Hello, Bandung, Makassar, and
Apa kabar?
Apa kabar? This is Bernie and Johan. Sorry, I interrupted you. Please.
It's all good, yeah. So how we started was the beginning was Johan was already interested in making some hip-hop beats back when he was in middle school. So he downloaded this software called FL Studio, Fruity Loops, which is a lot of modern hip-hop producers use that because it's so easy to use. He downloaded that and just messed around a little bit, nothing serious. It was more like a hobby, and then he just played around in his pastime. Anyways, some time passed, and then we were exposed to a lot of musical training, including violin, saxophone, choir, dancing, etc., even beatbox in high school. And after I went to college, you know, none of those things, we didn't do any of those things anymore. But
so you don't actually have like real instruments before going electronic, like you know, piano and
Most definitely, yeah. We're fortunate to have some classical training on the piano, and also Bernie was trained with violin in school. When he was in the choir class or in an ensemble class, he took the violin to learn. And for myself, I had the honor to learn a little bit of saxophone and bassoon, which is a very obscure
bassoon, not buffoon.
But not buffoon, bassoon. But it does look like a buffoon. Anyways, yeah, I had the pleasure to learn those things. Those didn't really stick with us, but it does train our musicality and discovered our passion for the music.
Yeah.
yeah, so actually before graduating high school, we were scouted by Universal in Taiwan. They wanted to recruit
That
us.
early? Wow.
Because we showed our passion early on, and our choir teacher basically as talent scout went to our school, Taipei American School in Taiwan, and asked, hey, you know any kids that have potential to become in a boy band? So yeah, the choir teacher just basically recommended us both, and then we went to interview, and then we showed what we got, and they offered to sign us 2 years of training. But my mom told us, education is more important. And
Indeed.
And looking back, she made totally right call. It was just like
Mom always knew
we
that.
really appreciate what she did. So basically, after turning it down, I went to USC, and he stayed to complete high school. And in college, I discovered electronic dance music. Before that, I kind of knew it as party music, clubbing music. But after getting to know electronic music, I discovered that there's a whole new realm of dance music that is not just for the club, but sometimes it's on the radio, and there's just so many different kinds of it.
And
so
it can also express a lot of positive messages. That a lot of people come to us and say, oh, certain songs touch them a certain way.
Yeah.
And so this different genres give you empower you in different moments. When you're sad, you listen to sad songs, it heals you. When you're feeling motivated, some motivational dance, upbeat music can keep you keep the energy up throughout the day. So like that's what we discovered, and that's what we want to incorporate when we discovered that we can make music on the computer just by ourselves. You know, like back in the days, you needed to wait for bands to be in the recording studio, but nowadays, with one software on a computer, you can create a whole world of music.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we discovered that, and we're like, wow, we want other people to feel the way we feel when we listen to music, which is, you know, cry all the time. And so that's how we started it.
Right. So actually, the creative part is like a collaboration between the two of you, and you started very early. You guys focus on what you want to do, and I think this is something that we need to inspire younger generation, especially Indonesia. Indonesia is a big country, a big market. You could actually see the potential. The reasons I know this is because my second daughter, Amira, really likes this type of music, and she would go to concerts also all the time. And we do have young artists also. A good friend of mine, Dimas Angger, who's a DJ.
We do know him. We look up to him for sure. Yeah.
Really?
He was a veteran in the scene. And then when he broke out with Steve Aoki, that was when we first recognized that wow, an Indonesian DJ is making out to the international stage.
Yeah.
And the way he produced music is very different than other people. So it definitely inspired us a lot.
Yeah, I was with him actually last week, and we had in a talk show, and one of the things that he wanted to see that actually the ecosystems of how young talents would be more appreciated here locally, and we would, because the market is big. So I'm seeing the ecosystem that would create the economy that would translate to jobs and actually positive entertainment. You mentioned freedom, you mentioned happiness, you mentioned all sorts of positive things coming on from this type of music. For some of our viewer who want to probably see the early work of BEAUZ, do you have some of the early works? And I know Sayonara just released, because I did support it on the video, and I hope it has some positive impact. But can you show us how is your early works, and how does it really transforms over the years to now?
Sure.
Has it been, what, 4 or 5 years now already in the trade?
I would say 4 years since we actually dedicated ourselves professionally to this profession. It's been an upward journey for sure. When we first make music, we didn't know the qualitative differences, and it's very important to know the qualitative differences. And how you know is by exposing yourself to different countries of music and everyone who are pro in it, like all the professionals. So this applies to all the business out there, right? So when you're an entrepreneur, you kind of want to know if your product is compatible in the space. And at first, when we're in the beginning, we thought our product is already compatible with all these big names. So you would hear the sounds are with good ideas, but that they lack, I would say, depth. I would say the depth that really can catapult you to stardom. So, but then you can hear the progression through each track that we make.
Right.
Yeah. So the first one.
Yeah. So like anything we do, anything you do in life, you know, just the more you do it, the better you get. And in the beginning, especially in music, it's like based on feelings. So we kind of just made what we liked, whatever sounded good to our ears, whatever made us happy, you know, whatever like drove our emotions. We just made it. And this is the first track we ever released on Spotify, 2016. So I would say that is the most official first track that we showed to the public.
What year was this?
2016. Yeah. I think you used this for a campaign as well.
Oh, yeah.
Very awesome.
It's called Dreamweaver.
Yeah. So as you can see that from the title itself, we've already wanted to promote positive images. Also because we have had this musical dream since a young age. Not many people are supportive because a lot of people are realistic. They're like, okay, maybe creative jobs are volatile and it's harder to have a stable income. So for the longest time we were struggling with that, and then he went to school in USC. I went to school in Berkeley.
Like one in north and one in the south.
Yeah, and in that kind of environment, there's also outside pressure for you to like change into different professions, right? But we stuck by it because we believe that if you can stick by your faith, stick by your hard work, then you can weave your dreams the way we do. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I want to see what type of conversations you have with your parents, because your mom is a very successful entrepreneur and you're from your father's side are from very good doctors. So this is a completely different basically line of works that you guys are doing. So what conversations does it arise when you try to convince your parents?
So in the beginning, right after I graduated USC, I applied for a couple jobs, and I also did a 1-year internship at US Bank Tower in downtown LA. It used to be the tallest building in downtown LA. I did a 1-year internship of finance and real estate. In the beginning, it was like really interesting. I was learning a lot of things, but eventually, after like I would say 2 months, everything felt really repetitive, and I felt like I could, put my talent into better use. And what I felt really passionate about is EDM and music in general. So I told my mom, hey, can you let me do this? I think I can do this. And she's like, you graduated from USC and you're trying to drive Uber, you're trying to like make music, not make any money, and she disowned me for 3 days. Yeah, and
which is a good experience.
We didn't talk for 3 days, and after 3 days, she's like, okay, you know what? It's your life. Just try it out. I'll support you. And I was really touched, and at that moment, I decided I won't let her down.
So not only you're successfully doing it, you're dragging your brother to doing the same trade.
Actually, right before he graduated, I asked him, hey, are you sure you're gonna do this? We're not making substantial amounts of money yet, but then he's like, yeah, I've been helping you with this for 2 years since you graduated, and I think, I really see a future in this.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful to have someone who sees eye to eye with me like that.
I think that definitely adds on to what when you mentioned on like how brothers can work together. Sometimes it's really hard. In the beginning, when we're younger, we do butt heads. We have a lot of similarity, which is a bad thing sometimes because we like the same things, right? And there's finite amount of resources. but then music really brought us together. Like I would say, seeing him dedicate himself, struggling, and really believing in his passion and craft inspired me to do the same. And I kind of want to be the yang to his yin. So kind of like whatever he has missing in his perimeter, I want to be there to like cover it.
Right.
Yeah. And then so I think that creates this really great dynamic between us. We never would steal each other's jobs. We never would like butt heads anymore because we know exactly if he's taking care of certain things, I will take care of certain other things. And it's very flexible like that.
So this is the dynamic brothers. So because, and this is as a proof point that actually this is a new economy. I mean, you graduated from USC, from Berkeley. These are the 2 top schools in the world. And your typical next in line would be going to the investment banking world or the consulting group. But you broke into this new economy whereby creativity, entrepreneurship would sort of like contribute to each other, and you produce good music. And actually this is the side of the creative economy that I think Indonesia in particular is embarking, because we have pretty much a very, very young demography. Our population is 50% of our population is below the age of 30. So this is the type of music that they're listening. So like if you spend a lot of time in the US, if you see the trend going forward, where do you see this creative economy, in particular electronic dance music? Because I've seen festivals created around electronic dance music. I see gigs in all the way from clubs to rooftops and so on and so forth. So where do you see this growing?
I think I see it growing into more of a lifestyle than just music. For example, festivals. A creation of festivals is not just about the music, the artist, right? When people come, you naturally create a huge amount of economic, insurgence of opportunities. Let's say local vendors want to sell their products, and the festival has 10,000 people in attendance. That means you have 10,000 people to market your product to. And so that creates a really interesting economy. It's not just stuck by storefronts. It's more like, whenever there is festivities hosted in different blocks of cities, you can find that way to promote your products to the youth, to the people who attend to attend. And as artists, it also becomes a lifestyle for us because we're not just producers who produce behind the scenes anymore. Making music back in the days were really behind the scenes. You don't really see the producers who make those music out there. But now we're becoming more and more like personalities. Like we can represent positive image, represent branding, like establish our personal brand and promote the entrepreneurial spirit. When people see us, they want to be like us. They want to know like, oh, okay, how do I establish my personal brand through music, or how do I do this, how do I do that? That creates inspiration, and that separates you from just being a producer.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's where the scene is headed to, which we're really happy about, because that means where there's more things to do, more people to inspire, and more positive message to pass on.
Now you perform here in the country. Where do you see great potential for EDM in Indonesia, and how do you? Because a lot of questions in terms of here, we are very actually quite traditional, but the young generations are pretty open about new trends in the music. So how do you blend in the local culture and traditions to your music?
I actually think there are a lot of seasoned musicians in Indonesia. It's just they don't really have the right platform to make show their creative talent to the world. I think what we need is bringing expertise for them to manage their own brand and expose them through internet. And it's pretty much like running a business. It requires more than just knowing how to play an instrument. Yeah. So obviously you have to educate them about how to take their talent from one dimension into multi-dimension. So I would say like Jakarta obviously is the most international city. It has the most potential for sure. But these days all you need is a laptop and a program to start. And then
internet.
Yeah, and internet, exactly, which everybody has.
Well, you don't take it for granted.
Yeah, hopefully.
There are days, I think 3-4 weeks ago, whereby internet is not present here. And that's, I'm partially to blame because it's politics related.
Oh, man.
So, but you played in Makassar, for instance, like eastern part of Indonesia, and
yes.
I saw the people were so excited. So, I guess it has potential other than outside Jakarta. Now, can you tell us what are the 3 most important characteristics and elements in terms of how you bring this entrepreneurial drive to the next level? What would be the top 3 traits that you think are very important for, young minds of Indonesia or the young generations in terms of they elevate this to the international level? Because when we spoke to Angga Dimas, he mentioned that he's underappreciated here, and other than the external side, it's basically what you need to build from your inner self in terms of making yourself really good at it.
I would say first and foremost, and every big DJ will tell you this, persistence is key.
Persistence, number 1.
Yeah. I would say persistence, honestly, that's for me. It has worked for me all the way. And Johan, what do you think?
I think faith and humbleness. humbleness is a very key.
Faith and humbleness.
Yeah, faith and humbleness, because faith in yourself is what every entrepreneur needs. No matter if you're a musician, you're a business owner, of course, if you calculate all things and the shutdown point is like way past, you know, okay, maybe I should shut down the business. But if you believe in your vision, like, you know, Amazon, right? Amazon, Jeff Bezos, they never made any money in the first 15 years, but he believed in the vision, the people believe in the vision. So believing in your vision is one of the most important thing to persist. Like if you believe in yourself, then you'll persist, right?
Right.
So without faith, none of these businesses would be here. Like I'm sure about Sandy, you experienced that yourself. You believe in your campaign, and you believe that you can inspire more others, and that's why you create such huge impact with Summit and everything else, right? So faith is one thing. Humbleness keeps you in check. A lot of people reach a certain point in their career, in their business, and they think, oh yeah, I'm established. There's certain things I shouldn't do, certain things I don't need to do. Maybe I only need to do certain things because I am big enough already. But that's very crucial to not think about, because you always need to learn. The market is so volatile, and it changes constantly every single day. If you don't put yourself in the learner's position and always learn what the market wants, the next morning you might be past news. You might just be the past.
So guys, persistence, faith in yourself, and humbleness. Now this is so fast. I'm already beginning to really enjoy the conversations, but I was told that we're coming into our allocated time. But I'm sure you have questions also for me. But before I ended the program, you walk around here in town. Do you also get to ask by people whether you're in the boys band or not?
Yeah, that's pretty funny actually.
Yeah, the other day we went to Old Jakarta.
Oh, Kota Tua.
Yeah, Kota Tua. Yeah, we went there to absorb some of the culture. You know, that's what Johan loves to do. I mean, I'm not like that, but I just accompany my mom and my brother like that. So we were just walking around, and then they kind of just, because we look so different from them, I guess. So that's why.
From a typical Indonesian.
Yeah. And then, so that's why some people will come up to us and be like, photo, like that. And then we would be like, okay, sure, you know. But if it gets too much, we'll be like, oh, sorry.
Okay. But are there still offers for you to form a boys band? Because it seems like, with the K-pop and I guess from the Taiwan side, they're also happening side of it, or you're pretty much already focused on EDM?
Actually, we're really happy with what we have going on right now, because the boy band that we were originally recruited to join in Taiwan isn't performing that well. You want to expand?
I would say we are kind of a boy band right now.
You redefine boy band.
It's more like we're DJs, yeah, we're producers, yeah, but because we have such total creative control of our brand, we can expand in different directions as much as a boy band does, right? Like we can be the record label's direction, like we can direct ourselves into becoming a boy band. And boy band essentially is just more personality than music. Of course, boy band has a lot of great music out there for sure, but they are more personalities, and fans are attracted to them because of who they are, what they like, what they look like, what they dress like, what their preferences are like, and how they inspire others. So I think, in a sense, we're like that. We're not afraid to perform outside, outside of our comfort zone, and we would love to be out there, inspiring more musicians, Indonesian musicians, or anywhere in the world to do what we do. So I would say we're on the way to be
a boy band 2.0 or 3.0. So do you want to show us some of your latest work, like Sayonara? We want to think that it's somewhat an Indonesian product also.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and this is going to be. Has it been released?
Yes. To give a little backstory on it, it was signed to Universal Music, about 3 months ago, and it's our major label debut. And we couldn't be more happy with how it turned out to be. It landed on about 14 Spotify editorial playlists, which is very impressive because normally it's even hard to get on one.
Right.
So we got, although these numbers, the followers are not that high, we are really grateful for what we have done so far. The support has been really great, and we also have a music video coming in 2 weeks. So we're really excited about that.
Can you show us?
We want to thank also our Indonesian fans because for the past 3 months since we performed with you, they have been super supportive, and that's why I think EDMs has such a huge future here because they're so passionate and the people here are so pure.
Yeah.
They're here to see you, to listen to the music, and when we share our music personally, we go on social media and message them personally actually.
Yeah.
We say, hey, check out this music, we come out. They were always responsive, humble, and they're always being like, thank you so much for sharing this music, we love it, it changed our lives, bring us positivity. So we definitely see that the most in Indonesia.
Right.
And that is something you guys should really be proud of as a country.
Yeah, beautiful people, and they like good music, and now they see one of them, another, two Indonesians are in the world stage, and they want to see you guys successful. So this is Sayonara.
Yeah, featuring Maggie Zabo.
Maggie Zabo.
So we have played this song numerous times before in our shows, and it has general good feedbacks. A little backstory with this music is we wanted to create something that can help us move on from the bad things that have happened in our lives, the negativities.
Right.
No matter what that is, relationship, past failures or scars.
Losing campaign.
That should be a positive thing.
So it's positive, right?
Yeah, that's a positive thing. Yeah, because you're welcoming new beginning.
Welcoming new journey.
Yeah, the lyrics actually say, "It's nice to know you, but it's time to say goodbye."
It's time to move on.
It's time to move.
So with that, we really appreciate the two of you, Bernie and Johan, spent time with me for about 30 minutes. Really enjoy also for you to appear in my events, and I hope great things coming out from you. And sayonara to all negativities, sayonara to all this basically things that bring yourself down. Look at how prospective the future will be. And sayonara also to the two. I heard you're going back to America, so thank you very much, and sayonara.
We appreciate you, Sandy.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Seluruh netizen, semoga enjoy show kita tadi, percakapan bincang-bincang kita dengan Bernie dan Johan yang menjadi tokoh fenomenal dalam BEAUZ. Kita tunggu kiprah mereka selanjutnya di panggung internasional membawa nama baik Indonesia. Sukses! Sukses to you, Bernie, Johan.
Success to you, Sandy.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.